Hey, and welcome everybody. Come on in, have a seat at the bar. We're back!
Hello!
It's been a while. I'm your photo happy hour bartender, Michael Mowbray, and today I'm serving up nothing but regrets. Stay tuned for the recipe. Joining me behind the bar. Yeah.
Don, is it free?
Joining me are these two yahoos. You can't see them, but I can see them. Dan Frievalt and Carl Caylor. Say hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hey. Oh, so this is not, we're not video here on this one?
We are video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so they can see us.
They did see me waving then.
They can't see who I'm pointing at.
Oh, I see.
No, they all see.
Do you guys like the color behind me?
It's somewhat
It's very Prince.
Yeah, it's as far as my office has gotten since August 20th. Yeah, that's exactly how it looked then too.
Wow.
Because it's actually I painted it gray, and then I've just got a.
Are you using one of your lightsaber jelly things?
I'm using one of the new. I'm actually not using the lightsaber. I'm using the. They have tubes. They're called the TL tubes.
That's what
you can hook them together.
Oh.
So ooh, look at that.
Ooh, look at that.
Ooh, that's bitching. Kind of like
that's
that.
Cool. Ooh.
The Packer theme.
Packer themes. Oh, the stripey guy theme. Okay.
Yeah. The kickers that can't get a field goal theme.
God, that was sick. It made me sick. But I do think that would be the prelude to a new twist to football. A kicker, the Hail Mary of kickers, call your shot that you're going to boink it off of the upright, and you get an extra point.
Doink.
So if it's an extra point you're trying to get, it's worth 2. It's like a 2-point conversion. Or instead of a 3-point field goal, it's worth now 4 points. That would change the game enormously.
No, the whole thing is, do you have to call it before it's in the air?
Oh yeah, you got. It's like playing pool. You can't play slap. You got to call it off the left, upright, boink. It is for the win. You know.
Or what they should have is like the regular regulation and then like a shorter. And so if it goes through the shorter, it's like 5 points. But or holes.
They talked about that.
You know, they could have like it on hydraulic, so just like.
Or, they got the net back there. Just put like a target and just move it around.
Circles, yeah.
A moving target, yes.
A moving target.
You got to hit the moving target. And it's worth a touchdown.
It's kind of like Bull Durham. If you hit the bull, you win a steak.
Yeah, did you see that? That guy just won a steak.
I love that movie. We can't talk baseball.
Throw again, didn't you? Yep.
You can tell when we're recording this is after the Packer-Bengal game where everybody on the team missed a field goal. Everybody lined up and tried and they all missed, and Brewers just got beat out of the NLDS Divisional Series.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Baseball.
National League Divisional Series. So
they're done.
Yeah.
They're going home. All sad.
So we can just care about football now, which is great, and photography. By the way, if you're tuning into this for the first time, it's been a while since we've been on, and we're going to.
Yeah, who are you?
This is a catch-up episode.
I don't even recognize you.
So we are. Yeah, I shaved off the long beard and everything.
Oh my gosh!
We are 3 professional photographers who've been around for a while, and we like to talk about photography, and even more, we like to drink and talk about photography. And the more we drink, the more we know, and hence that's why this is the Photo Happy Hour podcast, because it's about us drinking a little bit and talking sometimes about photography, sometimes about football, sometimes about whatever the heck is going on. As I was just telling these guys off air, it's only my second drink since August 20th. Why, do you ask?
Why?
Because I decided to go on a detox. No, I got Lyme disease and I couldn't. So, which when you got something attacking your liver other than this stuff, you're like, maybe I shouldn't drink. But I'm feeling much better now. So hey,
there you go. Cheers.
That's good. That's good. Cheers. I did your share of drinking when you were off the wagon, so
I appreciate that. Yeah,
I tried to help, but
I carried your load and manned up.
Yeah. I think it's showing a little bit too on you. I think, yeah. Doubling down a little bit.
My Peloton shirt doesn't make me look thinner.
Just like my photo podcast.
So speaking of which, I wore this on our last trip, and it was funny because we're walking onto the plane, and anyone who knows my wife, what you guys do, she works out like twice a day. She's like hardcore, and I'm like, whenever I get
She's
there,
ripped.
I work out. Yeah. And so the flight attendant's like, "Oh, do you work for them?" And I'm like, "Who?" I'm like, "Oh, Peloton?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "No." Like laughing. I'm like, of all people, you think I work for Peloton, you know?
Yeah, I'm
wife
the
does
trainer.
that.
I'm
Yeah.
Tuesday nights at 9.
So I sat down, I was puffed up. I'm like, "Did you hear that stuff? I'm looking fit."
Darn right.
I think I work for Peloton.
I got the 2 a.m. shift.
Yes, I'm the accountant.
I'm the accountant. I run the soundboard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
God.
So, what have you guys been up to for the last? It's been about 2 months. I didn't check the date, but it's been about 2 months since we got a chance to get together. It's been crazy, absolutely crazy between the three of us. There's
Yeah.
just no way.
How
no
many
way
places?
we could link up.
How many places have we been? I've been in
I've
Colorado,
been here.
Detroit, Atlanta, Detroit again, and I gotta be in Detroit again next week. Yeah, I'm doing a workshop for the Detroit group next week in Ann Arbor, so we'll be on the University of Michigan campus, which will be kind of fun. Of course, you'll all hear that after the fact, but
Yeah.
it's been a really, really busy couple of months, to say the least. And a little bit of it has been photography business.
Yeah. Well, we've had IPC, which is the International Photographic Competition, which I know you're hugely involved with, Carl, because you're on some of the committee stuff, and I'm just the judge. So we had to do that.
Yeah,
And
in your spare time.
And all the ancillary stuff after that, including the critiques, which I don't know how you got them done because I couldn't, and I misread the dates, and I thought, hey, I can just do all these on Friday, and then Rich is like, I need them on Thursday, and like, I can't do them Thursday. Well, we're gonna pull them all. Okay.
Yeah, I for another thing that happened, I'm not in my absolutely beautiful studio anymore. We sold that house and studio and downsized. But because of the market, we have a little temporary place, which was not wired in this century, I believe. So,
or maybe not even in the last half of the last century.
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I was trying to rewire and get internet connections, and I'm trying to pour concrete for a new garage and finish up senior orders and family orders and juggle a couple different commercial accounts that I'm now working with, all at the same time as all the travel that I've been dealing with. So I lost a lot of weight. And I haven't been sleeping a whole lot. So there's that. But one step at a time, one crisis at a time, and keep moving forward, right?
So if you're keeping score, I was sick. Carl's had everything else going on, and Dan's just been.
I've just been
He
drinking.
had
Pelotoning.
nothing.
Yeah,
He's been Pelotoning and planning Mexican trips and.
Yeah.
And kicking
We've been-
butt with senior orders, dude.
Senior orders have been ridiculous this year, which is good
Awesome.
because I also did the summit, which I put a lot of effort into that.
I was giving you
And
the opening for that.
a
There
lot
you go.
a lot of time. Yeah, a lot of time and effort into that, and I kind of let some of the senior stuff go a little bit, and so now I'm like finally getting back to those orders and getting people in, and they've just been. So maybe what I need to do is just kind of not get people in the order right away. Like that was always the thing. Like a week after the session, get in an order. let them crave it a little bit longer and let them appreciate it. I don't know. I don't recommend.
Maybe it's like
that, by the
making a
way.
brisket.
They have to marinate it.
you got to let them slow cook for a
Slow
while.
cook
You
for a
know,
while,
you got to
yeah,
rub them with a little seasoning. Let
The
them sit
rub.
yeah,
You
overnight.
need the
yeah.
rub.
Need the rub.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I mean, the orders this is like my lowest order this week was like $4,500. Everything has been
Dang.
Wow.
5 grand,
That's
6 grand, almost 7 grand. So yeah, it's
sweet.
pretty pretty amazing. So yeah, on top of the summit, which was great, and we raised. I just released this too. We raised $3,500 for So Many Angels. So that was
Sweet.
That's
great
awesome.
because I wanted to incorporate, the whole purpose of the summit. It's called like Peak Senior Summit, with the whole Seniors Unlocked brand. I didn't want to go with Seniors Unlocked. I wanted to like go with a theme that we were going to elevate and summit and raise the industry through education. Didn't matter if you were new in photography or seasoned photographer, and as well as highlight some people who are not well known yet, but I've been following their work. So as speaker wise, I wanted to pick people who are well known in the speaking community, and also some that a lot of people maybe didn't know, but they just been kicking butt. So it was a good platform to get them, get some eyes on them and their polish their education a little bit in a less kind of stressful thing instead of being on stage in
Hmm.
front of 500 people or something. And along with that is the charity aspect as well, is bringing attention to what Matt is doing. You know, a fellow photographer who started So Many Angels and just wanted to help out. They've been hit hard with COVID, like everyone has. Can't photograph kids with childhood cancer during the pandemic because they're
COVID.
at
Yeah.
risk, and
Risk.
so yeah. So the
Yeah, let's talk just a. People might not know what So Many Angels is about. So, it's a charity that was started by a friend of ours, Matt Myers, who's a photographer, and what they do is they go around the country, and where there are kids that might have a terminal illness, childhood cancer, something like that, and they get a kind of a fantasy portrait. A lot of the times they get to be a superhero, like maybe they want to be Iron Man. So a photographer friend of the organization will photograph the kid and create a really cool art piece of art where the kid can look like Iron Man, and it's something to uplift the kids and uplift the families that are going through some hard times, and it's a great charity for you to support. So that's I was glad to see you guys hook up with them and you know be able to donate that. That's a lot of money. That'll
That's
that'll
an
take care of a lot of portraits.
awesome amount.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was great. And so yeah, that was cool because I didn't have any idea what it would turn out to be, but I'm like, hey, I want to help out in some manner, so let's do this. So
We
he was
got you
pretty
a dollar.
yeah. Bet you a dollar.
It just doesn't get old, you know.
No, no,
No,
it doesn't. It
Never gets
doesn't.
I'm going
old.
to
Yeah.
backtrack just for a second because you're talking about your incredible sales lately. And I don't know. I might be speaking out of turn here, but do you still have openings in uh, your SU Insider group, or has that been closed off? 'Cause that's where you
Well,
can learn more about this stuff.
yeah, it's technically I'll only open it up a few times a year, but if you are a podcast listener, I do have room for a few people, so I'll put a link in, and you guys can find out more and join that. Otherwise, beginning of the year, I'm going to open up my boot camp again, which is really focused on the pricing and the ideal client and model team things. And too, I mean, my largest orders this year too were from um, my model team, which normally isn't the case. So, but I did things
Yeah.
different this year as well with that. And also, most of my referrals this year came from my underclass models. Um, so it was
Wow.
interesting because I got zero referrals, which normally I get zero referrals from my actual senior models, but those were my highest orders of the year. And then I had the most referrals from my underclass models, um, which this is the first year I did open it up to underclass. Um, so sophomores and freshman, sophomore, junior. Yeah. So that was interesting. Um,
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
unexpected.
it shows you've had a good business model anyway, but you have to keep reinventing. You have to try new things. And what's the worst thing that could have happened? You started an underclass model team and didn't go anywhere. Okay, you know,
Yeah.
Well,
you still have a
that
strong senior business, but
right.
but now you did it, and now you got a feeder system.
Yeah, and I had done tween sessions in the past, but so then I'm like, well, why not I just group it together? Because I was the when I was doing the tween
Sure.
sessions were at odd times and it didn't make sense. I looked at that more as well. Eventually, I'm gonna have to pay my dues with them, and they'll hire me as a senior. But shifted what I was thinking this year. Like, well, that's yeah, number one, but number two is they have you know older and younger people that can come to me as well, especially with the dancers I photograph and stuff. If someone's a sophomore on a dance team, they're going to have juniors and seniors on a dance team that you know they're just going to see what I'm doing and come to me. So yeah, I mean that worked out way better than I thought. And so yeah, I'm always like you said, I'm not afraid to take chances. Like what do you have to lose? But I think where a lot of
Right.
people kind of make the mistake is they A, don't want to take the chance, or B, they don't think about it. So in a manner of like, okay, so I did these, they were paid sessions. So they were sessions that I was doing when I'm not normally photographing seniors anyways. So in March, April, May, June, where I'd have like one theme session each month with all of them that would show up. So I haven't hit my busy season yet, but I'm ramping up for my busy season. So I'm showing that I'm active. I'm putting stuff out in social media. It's creating content. So I just looked at it as if it's just 100% marketing. That's fine, and they're paying for the session. So it's like a mini session if you want to call it that,
A
or
little
limited
off-season
edition.
money too.
Yeah.
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 So, and on top of that, I also recorded them. So for me personally, that's stuff that I'm putting in the SU Insiders membership. So you get to see me shoot these and the thought process behind creating these creative sessions and the reason why I'm doing them. So I'm getting several uses out of everything that I do. I always try and do that to be beneficial for my time and be smart about my time.
Oh, right. Right. Hey, I got another update. I don't know
Oh,
if
yeah.
anybody's noticed this, and maybe it's a secret. I don't know, but it's getting really, really hard to find products right now. Have you guys noticed that? You go to stores, you want to try to buy something online. Yeah, it's happening in our industry too. I had a container ship of soft boxes, my Gomo soft boxes that I actually ordered in April. Ordered and paid for in April. Finally, it took them an extra 2 months to get them produced, the factory, because they were having a hard time with workers and they're having a hard time getting raw materials too over in China. That stuff's happening over there too. And took them an extra 2 months to make the soft boxes, and then took forever to get on a ship. And the ship made it all the way to the port of LA and sat there for 2.5 weeks in the harbor with everybody else, and finally got unloaded. But now the container is in a warehouse, so I have to wait for them to unload the actual container, then get them onto a train, which I've heard the trains are backed up 2 weeks in Chicago to be unloaded.
Mm.
So they're backed up for like 15 miles. And then they have to get to a warehouse, and then you have to get a trucker to pick them up. So,
Good luck with
So
that.
in
road
other
trip.
words,
So we're road
Yeah,
tripping? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, the problem is it's got to clear a customs warehouse. But yeah, it may be getting a big old U-Haul and going down and loading it up here, because this is, I'm looking at, I might have these by Thanksgiving. Might have these by
Wow.
Thanksgiving, when I was supposed to have them in June. That's what's happening out there right now, guys.
Yeah,
Now,
that's crazy.
What does that mean for photographers? This is coming from somebody who sells gear, so take it for what it's worth. If there's something you want and need and you find it, you may want to buy it because it may not be available in a day or 2 days or 2 months or whatever. Fortunately for MoLight, I just got it cost me an arm and a leg, but I just got 47 cartons worth of Kodak's gear in yesterday, and cost $6,800 in air charges because I wasn't going to play this whole cargo ship game because I just can't wait for this stuff. So the good news is I've got flashes. I've got pretty much all the main flashes for Kodaks, and I got a decent stock on them. A month from now, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. It's crazy, you know.
It is. I'm scrambling for soft boxes because I'm almost out of every soft box I carry.
Wow.
And it's not like I didn't place the orders a long time ago.
Right.
So I might have to start selling foam board V flats.
I was
Cool.
Well, even that, you go to Home Depot, you know, is cost of lumber still high? I assume
It's
is.
coming down
It's been
very
yeah.
rapidly.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah,
That's
because
good.
I quoted this garage that I'm building at this new place a couple of months ago, and then I got it re-quoted a month ago, and it was $2,200 cheaper
Really?
this last time. And then as I was looking at it, going over it this last week, once we actually closed and I started getting things more in concrete, no pun intended, I looked at it closer and said, you know, this is silly. The prices are going down so rapidly on all this stuff that, and I have nowhere to put it. This is a tiny little place that we're building on, and there's no room. I mean, we're right up to the neighbors, within inches of the borders. It's easier. I can't have them deliver all the materials at once anyhow. And I thought, well, it's silly too, because when you buy it all now, I mean, it might be a week before I'm ready for, you know, the OSB, and it's probably going to come down another $1.50 in that next week per sheet. So
Where you're going to put trusses too, you know?
The
Wait.
trusses I had to order because it's going to take weeks to get. Some of the stuff you
that
still
sucks.
take forever. So, for example, insulated garage doors. Man, I
Yeah.
ordered a pair of
Heard
them
that.
for my other house that we sold back in April, and before we even thought about selling the place, we were just going to replace them for us. And lo and behold, they came. They were supposed to be like 4 weeks. It ended up being 4.5 months. And I mean, they got there literally a few weeks before the new people moved in. You just can't get stuff right now. There's some things you just can't get, or if you can, if it's available, it's going to take a long time to get them because a lot of the product is there, but you can't get it shipped. You know, you just can't hire a shipping company to move anything. It's just the world we live in right now. So,
Yeah.
like Michael
Definitely
said,
a shortage of truckers.
if you need something and you have access to it, get it.
Buy it. Because
Don't-
if nothing
don't-
else, you know, it may be going out of stock or the price is going to go up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. Like we replaced tires on my truck and Stephanie's vehicle and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, it's gonna go up." That was, you know, this spring, and yeah, everything's gone up. Tires, rims. It's really jumped in price. I'm glad we did because it's like, should we wait? It's like, no,
Nope.
we're not waiting.
Get it.
So
Well, and you got all that stuff going on, and then you've got the IC chip, the integrated circuit chip shortage going on, which, speaking of which, when Kodak's introduced their RGB wand and stuff, they used to include these with them. Last March, they started pulling them out, and they actually aren't included. You have to buy them separately.
Really?
Because all this stuff includes those IC
Those
chips.
Yeah.
Anything that's got radio in it. So all these little radio transmitters and stuff like that. So yeah, so it was luckily I had Actually, I bought like an extra 10 of these. I think I only have a couple left. That stuff, they shut down production on X2 transmitters and X1R receivers again because the stuff that they don't sell a crap ton of, they're like, we're just going to shut down production, and we're going to make sure we've got chips for 8200s and things like that. Yeah, because they're fighting everybody else for them, because the same chips that they're trying to put into cars and refrigerators and anything that's got any logic to it,
And
got IC chips in it.
Zillion of them in
Is
each
that the
vehicle.
same one that was in the Terminator 2, or is that Terminator 1?
Yeah,
The same
I
chip?
think it was a Terminator 2.
Terminator
Might have
1.
been
Yeah.
1. I think
Terminator
maybe
1.
two,
They had
yeah.
they had to get the guy who invented the chip. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
That son of a
The Skynet guy.
Skynet guy.
Skynet. That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I just watched that again, Terminator 2. Yeah, I just watched Terminator 2 a month or two ago. When you're laid up and you actually feel like you're 95 years old, by the way, don't get Lyme disease.
Don't get Lyme disease.
Don't get it, because
okay.
you can't move. It's just like you just feel like you're 95. Yeah, I'd get up to, just get up. I'd have to sit back down because I was tired.
Wow.
It's like, I'm going to sit back. Grandpa's going to sit back down.
Sit back down. Well,
Give me some
but-
soup.
And get off my lawn.
off the porch.
Not enough
my
energy
porch.
for that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's
And on a
crazy.
different note, not to bring us down further, but you mentioned soft boxes, and we lost a dear friend to the
Yeah.
industry
Yeah.
this
Friday.
week. So John Snow, who was part of Larson and Sweet Light, maybe some of the
Mm-hmm.
older listeners out there would recognize that name. But yeah, so
So anybody who did own or does own a Larson softbox, raise your hand.
Many.
Yeah.
A lot of people. I'm just counting.
can you see? Can you
Okay.
see? 1, 2,
Yeah.
yeah. Raise your
A
hand.
lot of people did. Yeah.
Most.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
really
yeah, and
an industry changing product, and of course it was George Larson that created it first, and I was actually there when he was talking. Well, Darton had a big part of the big 4x6 softbox, the big one,
Mhm.
right? And they came up with the 5x7 after that. But George, one thing, was extremely intelligent, and two, he actually listened to people in the industry that he was working for.
Crazy.
Imagine that. But I remember I was helping carry equipment around for Darton and Scotty Dupra back in the day. Back when you did programs and you brought all your canvas prints to hang up in the room, and you brought trays, a bunch of slide trays and
projectors,
slide
yeah.
projectors, and yeah,
Hope they didn't
all the
jam.
good old days.
Yeah.
But we ran into George in the hallway, and he was talking about or asking what we wanted, and Scotty's like, well, I want a reflector that I can use as an accent light in my natural light camera room. And so he's like, well, we got the reflector, Saul. He's like, no, that's kind of soft, and now what they call it, soft silver. He's like, I want something that's like a mirror to use as accents. He's like, well, I'm not sure we can do that. And Scotty's like, well, it's the inside of your softbox.
Yeah, it's
He
basically
goes-
like a Mylar.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
He said, it's the
Yeah.
same. You just use the material from your softbox to make a darn reflector. He sat there for a minute and goes, we can do that.
Yeah.
And they did. It was that simple. But, and then John, of course, took it over. And he, it was interesting because John actually listened too. I think that's one of the things that he got from George, is that, pay attention to what the people are saying that bought it. And we had played around a little bit with the kickstand reflector. Remember back in the day, things that could go outside and stand by on their own and not blow
Mhm.
away. And there was a lot of really good thoughts that went into that, but then, I mean, people have their vices, and sometimes
Yeah.
they get the better of us, and I think that's kind of what happened there, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah, because he was a good guy, good soul, great for everybody he worked with, great for the industry, and sad passing. So, remembering John Snow.
My sushi guide.
Yes,
He knew everywhere
He
we
knew the
went. He
sushi.
knew the place to go to get sushi.
Sushi or
And
tacos.
or tacos. Yeah, and I don't like eating raw things. That's why God invented fire. But John knew the things to order that would still be okay. And he used to go into the sushi places, and he'd say, here's $300, feed us. And they'd come out with just enormous amounts of stuff at this little hole in the wall sushi places. Like one in Vegas was insanely cool. But it was just, I mean, the guy was just a lot of fun to be around, and he got people to do some really cool things, that's for sure.
Well, one of the things is because Washington softboxes to me were and probably still are kind of the standard for quality and color consistency out there. And talking to John, I know one of the big differences with their softboxes were the interiors. That material you were just talking about was expensive because it was high quality and it was color consistent, and you see some of the cheaper softboxes out there now, and that's what I try to tell people about. You can get cheap softboxes now, but that interior, that reflective material, will delam. So if you've ever had a cheap softbox and you start to see little black parts on your reflective surface, that's cheap. I mean, it's not well made. It's poor material, poor quality, and you don't see that in the better stuff.
I tried buying a few times just to try to make my own reflector, and you can't, because they used to buy it all. It was only manufactured once a year, and
Right. Yeah.
Only a few people, they were one of them, bought all of it. Which was,
that's why it was always hard to get some of their stuff, because you had to wait for them to make more.
Yeah, they actually almost made it on demand, like
Yeah.
sewed it up when you ordered,
Put
Oh,
your
yeah.
name on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
So what else has happened in the last 2 months? So we had the Peaks Senior Summit, which went very, very well.
It looked awesome.
I don't know, what was your final attendance on that, Dan? Do you have numbers? Do you want to release numbers?
Well, we had over 2,500 people sign up for it, so it
Holy
was
cow.
yeah.
Awesome.
pretty
Crashing
crazy.
servers across America.
We did
That's like a
actually
Victoria's
crash it.
Secret,
I couldn't
Christmas
even get
thing.
on the opening ceremony.
Well,
I got
that
voted
was
off.
that we had our first major hiccup. And when I say we, it's me, because I stupidly did this all myself.
Oh,
But
blame it on the intern. Come on.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, one thing I didn't account for is I have the webinar software, which can handle 1,000 people. But I wanted to see everyone's faces because it was virtual. I wanted it to be like a party. When you do a Zoom webinar, you don't see people on camera. So I'm like, I'll set it up as a meeting. Well, I didn't realize that my limit to the meeting was 100 people, and within within 2 minutes, it's like, oh man, we got 100 people here, and it was like locking at 100, and all of a sudden people are like, I can't get in. And it's like, and then people are like, your limit is 100. I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that. Which none of the education was through Zoom, but it was just the opening and closing party. So I had to up my my account for the closing party and stuff. So yeah, but I'm like, hey, we got the major hiccup out of the way first. But yeah, I was worried about servers getting kicked down and stuff. But I know, yeah. So and I'm still kind of going through the analytics.
Pretty well from what I saw. You didn't seem like you had like major technical issues at all.
No, and I did mess up. So I had to do some things manually, like when I could have set it up to automatic when the time was for someone's program to go live. I had to activate it manually, which I could have set up, but I was afraid to set it up to do it automatically because there was 21 different speakers, and I'm gonna mess something up. So I just kind of was doing it manually. Except for one day, all of a sudden I get a text from Tim Goetz like, "Hey, I'm trying to log on to, I don't remember whose it was, JB's program, I think." And I was like, "Oh shoot!" I was eating lunch. I was like, "Oh, I forgot to
Click.
click." There you go.
Play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hard enough time with introductions. I mean, what do you mean about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Introductions. That was really weird too, how that went down. Because I introduced, Gina as
Is it like
Latrice.
Jenna or Gina and Latrice? Yeah.
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
introduced
I was
twice,
like,
that's
"Oops." Yeah. So yeah, a few
It happens. Makes it funny.
hiccups, but
It makes it
overall,
real and makes it organic, you know?
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
and I
think
kicked
it's
myself.
I think it's on brand.
It is.
Yeah.
I kicked myself because I ended up. Part of the reason why is I recorded all of them and kept dropping them in. Well, one of them had the same name, so those two, it kind of weirded it out because I had the same name.
Oh.
So I just trashed everything so that it wouldn't happen. But I was kicking myself because it's like, oh, I had a lot of good bloopers because I'd be like, "Hey, coming up next we have, who's coming up? Who's that again?" And it's like, okay, start over. "Hey, so," and then and like Joey Thomas, I was like, "Hey, he's the one speaker I don't know that real well, but when I first met him, I was instantly like attracted to him and like his personality and so then also I was like, I saw that go. I'm like,
What?
Got a lot of
Joey,
text
I sent the
messages that day.
Joey, I think I just said I was attracted to you. Don't take that the wrong way.
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did.
Yeah. And
I
then
missed
someone
that.
else was
I gotta go
commenting,
back
like,
and watch that now.
"Oh yeah." And then someone else like in the Facebook group said, "Joey, what kind of light do you have? It looked really good." And so I was texting him like, "Oh, Joey, your eyes look dreamy in that light." So yeah, we hit it off as good friends right away. So he was a good fit. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to start planning the next one. Yeah, because it went over well and the people were excited and a lot of people were fired up and got good knowledge from it. So that was the point. So
Just don't do it during IPC or elk hunting season. So
No.
I know that's just like,
Or
I almost
house
forgot.
moving.
I almost forgot. Okay, what do I almost always forget? The Photo Happy Hour is sponsored in part by Red Curl Creative, copywriting services for photographers and wedding professionals. Kim from Red Curl Creative speaks your language. You can save $97 on Kim's Write More Gooder Words. She's going to kill me for that. Write Better Words course when you use discount code Happy Hour. So it'd save $97 on the Write Better Words course. And when you use the code Happy Hour, you can get there from redcurlcreative.com or writebetterwords.com. There you go. There's a sponsor who's hung with us for 2 months going, "Where my ads at?" Because that's exactly how Kim talks in Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
It's her new Phoenix accent.
New and improved Phoenix accent. It's
Which is
dry
funny
weather.
because she's a Wisconsin girl who moved to Phoenix, and I think last spring, and she was posting about being around the pool, and it was like 72 degrees, and she's lounging around the pool, and everybody else is running around in parkas, and they're like, "What are you, nuts?" She posted the other day it was going to be 72 degrees in Phoenix, and she was like, "It's going to be really cold." So she adjusted.
Quickly.
Very quickly.
It actually doesn't take long. It is amazing.
That's funny.
Yeah. It's like, ooh, it's chilly. I know someone in Texas too during the peak summit. It was at Emily. She's like, "Oh, it got down to like, what'd she say, like 80, and she was making chili or something." I'm like, I go, it's 70 here. It's like, it's awesome. It's 70 in October. I still have the doors and the roof off the Jeep. I'm cruising around. This is unbelievable.
It's October already? Holy crap.
I did a session last week, and it was in the 80s. So,
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
84. I'm like, come on. Part of the reason I scheduled this is so it would be like 65. I wouldn't be dying out here.
We've had snow already at this point in time, and we haven't had frost yet. I mean, this is crazy. I don't want to say it too much yet because I got to finish. I got to pour this concrete slab on Saturday.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
No, it's
Big hard
supposed
freeze
to be
comes
good.
in.
Yeah.
Supposed to be good this
Well, nothing else, you can make a hockey rink.
week. Hey,
True
yeah,
form. Let's make a hockey rink.
yeah. I've
So-
done that before too.
One of the things we're trying to do now so we can get these podcasts out more quickly, soonerly, is we're trying to do them a little shorter. So,
Yeah.
you guys have any
You know what?
parting shots?
I'm going to say something photographically in nature, so we have some kind of photographic content.
I
with
think we
this.
said something, didn't we? No, maybe we didn't.
Maybe not. But I just remember because I have to do this before leaving in the morning. Your collars on your lenses, so your long lenses, mostly 70-200s are typical, but your collars that you can rotate and that you put right on your tripod, make sure you check those, especially your Sony ones for you Sony folks, because mine is now loose again. It happened one other time. And it happened I noticed it at my last family session last weekend, last weekend. Gosh, it's been a long week today. But it's wobbly. I was like, gosh, maybe I didn't tighten it onto my tripod, but it's actually the collar, the little screws that go in. And be careful because they're not normal heads. They're specialty heads. So check that. Make sure you don't use a Phillips screwdriver and strip them, but make sure you get the right head for those and check those every once in a while so you don't have the issues that I had on my last family session. I ended up having to hold it my hand very, very still in low light. Thank gosh.
I can't.
we
Not
couldn't do that.
in low light, not MoLight. Yeah.
Right.
I can't remember
I was using
the.
MoLight too.
I can't remember what the name of the screwdrivers are, but there's a Japanese brand that's like one of the better ones, and I have a set of those because I use those for some of the repairs I do because Kodak stuff is all over the map. Some of it's Phillips, some of it's that whatever you're talking about. Looks like it might be Phillips, but it's really not. It's like
Really not.
yeah. So you can pick those up on Amazon. You might just want to do a search like on electronics screwdriver kits, and you'll
It's
do a little
Phil.
searching. You'll find it.
It's not fill up. It's Phil.
It's Phil.
Phil.
It's Phil.
Hey,
Phil with an
Phil!
F.
How you doing? It's my buddy Phil.
So that's a good parting shot. So a little tip for you.
Or if you're like
and-
me,
Or-
Yeah.
you remove that collar because it always gets in your way when you're shooting and doesn't fit in the camera
Oh,
bag.
no.
But then when you need it
no.
to put it on a tripod, you have no idea where you put it. I've been looking for mine for like a year and a half. So
I
No
always
idea
keep
where
the
it is.
tripod head on it, and I grab onto that. I just hang on to that because it's rectangular. So I
that's
just
too
grab onto that
much.
instead of hanging onto the lens.
I'm getting old. I can't even lift that 70 to 200 anymore, man. It's like, give me the 85. Why did I buy a 70 to 200 again?
85 is heavier than
Yeah.
my 70 to 200, for God's sakes.
Oh,
I haven't used my 70 to 200 in
No,
over a
it's not,
year. I
it's
don't
not.
think. So
Oh my
anybody
gosh.
wants to buy one, just message me.
You
I've
see
got a
the new
Sony 70
Canon,
to 200 for sale because I'm.
the new Canon, like 120 or 12,000 millimeter or something like that.
No way.
Yeah.
I saw something huge that somebody was carrying around. I thought it was photoshopped.
It might be fake.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Cheers,
so-
guys.
so much.
so now we've
much
got the drink of the
for-
week.
Oh, the drink of the week.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah, the drink of the week, remember, I was serving up nothing but regrets. So here's the recipe. Regrets. Drink whatever you have around the house until you're numb, and then you'll have regrets the next day. There's an alternative to that. You can place some salt on a small plate, rub your face in it, then drink whatever you have around the house until you're numb. So that's the recipe for the regrets.
Do we
Regrets.
throw anything over our
Regrets.
shoulder?
No
I'm just trying
regrets.
to-
That's how I used to do. That's how we used to do shots of tequila in college.
Yep.
What was it? We'd snort the salt. We'd snort the salt, throw down the shot, and throw the lemon over our shoulder.
Yep.
Or the lime.
Lime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like
Mrs.
from
Plaffel was
Caddyshack.
probably a lemon. We didn't know any different. Anyway, that's it for this We're Back episode. It was high quality overall, I would have to say.
Top notch. Absolutely.
Top notch. Yes.
Yep.
5-star. Give us 5-star, please.
Top shelf. Oh wait, you had some you had some awesome images, Michael, of alcoholic beverages. And
Oh,
I
we'll
can
talk
see-
about them next time.
Okay, we'll talk about it next time. It's a good lead
Yeah,
in anyhow.
because hopefully I have a follow-up story on that. I'm still
Awesome.
working up
Yeah.
I'm working
Yeah.
up
Oh,
on the
that's right.
follow-up story.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll wait
so-
on that.
We'll keep you hanging. It's called a cliffhanger. You have to tune in next
That's
week
right.
to find
Yes.
out
Next
more.
time on the Photo Happy Hour podcast,
God, I
did
hope it won't be
Michael
canceled before
win
we
a
hear
new
about it.
client because of his award-winning image? We'll find out on the
And
next
social media.
episode of Photo Happy Hour podcast. Till next time, guys. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Subscribe now or I'll send you a gift. I'll give you a hint. It's in my diaper and it's not a toaster. I'd like to stay and chat, but Lois has pudding, and I need to go make more gifts for non-subscribers.